Thank you so much. Uh, After a very, I think, a very uh, thought provoking address by Honorable Minister Shri Bhupender Yadav ji, it has set the theme. And I am unfortunately extremely inarticulate and legally illiterate. So I would take the shortest time since it's my formal duty to set the theme. It's a it's a fortuitous, perhaps a coincidence that Dr. Shama Prasad Mukherjee Research Foundation was designated as the secretariat for Y20. Besides his many other achievements, Dr. Mukherjee was also an accomplished lawyer, and his contributions, therefore, to the legal fraternity pre-independence is something which is very unique. Since then, uh, after Dr. Shama Prasad Mukherjee Research Foundation was designated as the Y20 Secretariat, we had been mulling over this idea of having such a program. And Satyaranjan is absolutely right. This is the first of its kind in India. We have had nearly 300 plus programs across the country in the last 3.5 months, keeping in mind Prime Minister's appeal for Jan Bhagidari. These programs have percolated right at the grassroots. It has gone beyond universities, beyond five-star hotels. It has gone beyond, industry forums. It has actually percolated at the grassroots. And at this point of time, to have such a high-powered program, a discussion, I think this adds to the entire deliberation that Y20 has been focusing upon. And therefore, I would really like to thank the young advocates who have come across the Young Advocates Forum to have come across and organized this, and to have Maheshji with us um, is always an added inspiration. And we have been wanting to have him on a Y20 platform. And therefore, thank you so much for joining us on this. And an array of senior advocates, legal luminaries, personal friends, also who have taken time out to come here. I would really like to thank all of you. It is your presence which makes this exercise not only meaningful, but I think historic as well. Because this is building up to the final summit, Y20 summit, which will be held in Varanasi, in Honorable Prime Minister's constituency. And therefore, as we have done with G20, India's presidency and celebration of G20 has been unique. Earlier, there would be G20s. For the last 20 years, there has been G20s. And it would be a one-day affair in behind closed doors. But in India, it has actually turned into a people's movement. And therefore, your presence here lends credence and support to that vision of making it a Jan Andolan and Jan Bhagidari. So thank you so much. I would like to really express my thanks. Just a few thoughts, because Suyash is actually, he's the track chair of one of the verticals of Y20. And he's the one who should be actually explaining to you Y20, not me, because I've already gone on the other side of youth. But I think among the various verticals that we have in Y20, future of work and industry, developing 21st century skills, collaboration and innovation, climate change and disaster risk reduction, participation of youth in governance, democracy and policy making is again something which is unique to Y20 in India. This was a subject, this was a vertical which was not there. It did not exist in other Y20s all these years. We included this in this Y20 primarily because India is not only the youngest democracy and one of the most vibrant democracy, but we should also remember despite all the homilies that we have to listen to on democratic index, health of democracy in India, the West today is seeing a democratic recession, while India and Asia is seeing a democratic resurgence. And this is not something which Indian think tanks or Indian experts say. This is something which Western think tanks, which think tanks like Chatham House, Bennett Coleman Institute of Public Policy, Cambridge, such think tanks have come up with empirical evidences, research, and papers and studies which say that there is a disinterestedness in governance, in participative democracy in the West, while there's a resurgence in Asia. And if one looks at India, all of you are much more well versed with the state of democracy. And so therefore, this vertical is extremely crucial. We have a story to tell the world. The vertical on peace and conflict resolution is something, again, which is unique to India's Y20. Because we have a story to tell the world on how we resolve, or we have resolved, our conflicts which have festered for the last 2 decades. So these are some of the dimensions of Y20. There's a lot of intense discussion that is going on at various levels across the country with a lot of involvement. And I think as we near the final summit in Varanasi, it is becoming more and more intense with a lot of ideas being thrown up. And if we keep this at the backdrop, this particular exercise and the panel discussion which is going to follow will, I think, give in a lot of input which can be included, or which can be put in the process for inclusion in the final summit document. And so thank you so much for being so patient. Thank you so much for being here. At the end, there are just 2 things that I want to say. I think this is the right time to tell the world and remember that in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, man was changed to human beings by Hansa Mehta, and that was something unique to India. And it is only India, which is an Indic thought, as Bhupenji said, it is the product of an Indic thought. 1. And 2, again, a product of the Indic thought was when the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, when H.G. Wells started discoursing on the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Gandhiji said that I accept the Universal Declaration of Human Rights on one condition: if there is a Universal Declaration of Human Duties. So I think as we move towards the finale of India's G20 presidency, the sense of duty in a democracy, duty and republic, duty and constitution, these are something which is, again, unique to India and unique to Indic thought. Thank you so much, and thank you, the young advocates and organizers and the entire team. Thank you so much.